Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me back again here. This is a continuation video. Earlier, a couple weeks ago, I did about how to rotate the screens, whether it's vertical or horizontal. But today, I want to discuss the aspect ratio. And what better way to do it here? I got a horizontal cab like asteroids and a vertical cab like centipede. So let's say you want to bring in some vertical games onto the asteroids or some horizontal games onto the centipede. How would you do it? Well, I'm going to show you two different ways. The asteroids is actually easier, one shot thing that could do it, but I'm also going to show you how to do it on the vertical cab or a by game basis that gives you a little bit more options. So just to review here, we went into our Raspberry configs here under the advanced options. This is where we located our resolution. You could also do this in your config .text file, and then we pick the 4x3 or 5x4 if you have a generation 3 cab. And then also in our configuration tools, under the config edit, we went in here and we also set our libretro emulator options, and this is where we set it to be 4x3 or 5x4 depending on what style we're using on the aspect ratio, and that made the screen on there look how it should be. But the problem is if we bring in other games that use a different rotation, like I have two games here. We have a vertical Arkanoid game and then off-road. So if I run off-road, as you can see here, it's perfect. There's no black borders or anything. It covers the whole screen here. It's a wide horizontal look to it, and it's fine. But when we run a vertical game on this setup, like Arkanoid, it'll be stretched out, and it's not going to look so good as this is a vertical game as opposed to the horizontal view that off-road uses. So the way we changed it, here's the option one, is we just got to go back into our config edit where we set it 4x3 or 5x4. Instead of that, we're going to come down to close to the bottom where it says core. If we set this as core, it's going to use whatever aspect ratio that game uses. If it uses the vertical, it's going to be vertical. If it uses the whole screen on there, then it'll use the whole 4x3. So now when we run Arkanoid with this, it's going to have its right aspect ratio, the vertical here on the asteroids cabinet, how it should look. Okay, so that's how you set that up. But let's say you're doing it on the vertical cabinet where we had to rotate the screen, or if you wanted to make additional adjustments, maybe this is too skinny for you, you want to make it a little bit bigger, not to the full stretch of the screen, but maybe slightly a little bit more. Here's option two, game by game basis. Now when we rotated the screen, we had to go in here, we had to go into our OPT file folder, then Retropie, and then we had to come back down to configs, and then arcade, and we had to edit our retroarch.cfg file. We had to make sure we had video allow rotate equals true, and we also added video rotation equals 1. And this made the so the screen rotates into that vertical view for each game. Okay, one thing I didn't mention in that previous video, if let's say you're using advanced main, let's come down to the main advanced main folder, and then this file here, advancedmain.rc. If you do happen to use a advanced game, you also want to change this down here. Go scroll down until you get to display ROL and display ROR. A little bit down further, and right here. So display ROL, make sure that's yes, and then ROR is no. That needs to be set for the advanced main games. So when we run Arkanoid here, we run the game, and then let's say we need to change the ratio. We press our hotkey and X button. Okay, that'll take us here to the quick menu, but we gotta go back to the main menu of RetroArch. So hit the B button, we'll get you back here to the main menu. Then you're gonna come down to Settings, press A, go down to Video, press A again, and then you'll see a thing called Scaling. Press A there, and this is where we're going to find our aspect ratio, depending on what you're using. If you're using Core or 4:3, and you would change it here. As I change this, you could also see on the screen how it makes the adjustments. So this is where you could, when you have to do by game basis, if you're using the vertical ratio on here, or if you just want to add, make it look better. Maybe the 3:4 is too skinny for you. Maybe you want to set it something like this, like a 1:1, which is a little bit bigger for Arachnoid. And then once we do that, we go back, settings. No, actually, we're gonna have to go back more. Yeah, go back all the way to the main menu. And then from here, go to quick menu, and it should be here. Yeah, on the bottom, you'll see overrides. Click on overrides and save game overrides. Make sure you click on that. That will save your changes. You don't want to do core because then you'll change every game. You just want to change the vertical games. So now when we load Arachnoid, as you could see, it's in the vertical, but it's stretched a little bit more how I wanted it. So that's how you make the additional adjustments to the ratio. The two different ways of doing it. For vertical, you're going to have to use option 2. Any questions, comments, leave them below. That's aspect ratio on your arcade 1-ups. Good night, everybody.